program with no bias and no exemptions, including nothing but the truth. This is The Day Rice Show. Hello Philippines, especially from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Welcome to our program, The Day Rice Show. Anyway, my name is Daniela Morato, and I am one of your speakers.
Hi, hello everyone, and I am Rochelle Avila, one of your speakers for today's program.
For today, we have a topic that would probably say as a serious topic and that would make your mind blow and possibly make your trigger. But before that, let's focus first about the main questions that would be connected to our topic, the under or overvaluation of currency. Basically, the two currencies that we must tackle and be considered are the US dollar and Philippine peso. And also, Big Mac will be part of it. Because as we all know, that McDonald's has always a place all over the world.
These are the questions that we must consider for our topic. First is, what does undervalued and overvalued means?
So when we talk about undervalued currency, it is a currency with an exchange rate lower than it ought to be. So a currency may be undervalued, for example, when its purchasing power, supply, and demand are all strong, but its price is still comparatively slow. So when we say about overvalued currency or the currency is being overvalued, well, this will be opposite to undervalued currency. And this means that the exchange rate of that particular country is too high for the state of economy. An overvalued exchange rate can also be measured by looking its PPP or the purchasing power parity, which means that goods will be relatively expensive for that particular country.
Second question is, why currencies are being undervalued and overvalued?
It is quite common to hear people say and claim while countries' exchange rate are being undervalued or overvalued. There are a lot of reasons that be part of it, alright? So when we're going to say undervalued, of course, the reason of it is some government keeps their currencies undervalued deliberately to make their export less expensive. And also there are also a natural reason, which is the political crisis. And that caused the rest of the world to become safe the country's currency. And also because of having an insufficient demand for it. For overvaluation, it is opposite to undervaluation because of course, it makes the country's export more expensive and may thus be detrimental to international trade.
Third is, when can we say that the currency is undervalued and overvalued?
Well, in simple words, when it is believed that depreciation of the currency is needed to balance trade, we can say that currency is overvalued. And when it is believed that appreciation of the currency is needed to balance trade, we can say that currency is undervalued.
Raw index and GDP of US dollar compared to Philippine peso.
And now let's take a view of this data about the Big Mac Index, which our base country is the US dollar, and we are going to compare it to the Philippine peso. It shows the raw index as of July 2020, and this explains that the Big Mac is cost 142 pesos here in our country, and it costs 5.71 US dollar in the United States. The data imply that the exchange rate is 24.87, and then we have the actual exchange rate, which is 49.43 pesos. So the difference between 24.87 and the actual exchange rate suggests that the Philippine peso is 49.7% undervalued, or which is equivalent to 24.56.
For the GDP, the Philippine peso was 5% undervalued against the US dollar in July 2020. A Big Mac costs 50% less in the Philippines than in the United States at market exchange rates. According to the differences in GDP per person, Big Mac should cost 47% less.
So to wrap up with our topic for today, if the RER or the real exchange rate is less than 100, then we say that domestic currency is undervalued, which may result domestic prices are low by international standards and domestic producers are more competitive.